As of this morning, Toronto has now recorded the highest number of homicides in more than a decade. 3 people were killed this weekend, which means so far this year, 88 people in Toronto have died by homicide. That breaks the old record high homicide rate, which was set back in 2007, when police recorded 86 homicides. Last year, our city tracked 65 homicides. To talk more about this, we are joined by Toronto Police Chief Mark Saunders. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Morning.
Is this the new normal for people of Toronto, or can we expect these numbers to go down in 2019?
Well, you know, with policing, you can't predict. What you have to do is you have to look at the patterns and then figure out where you go from there. I do agree this has been an anomaly year by every stretch of the imagination, but the good news is that all levels of government have a clear understanding of the direction we need to go in order to help reduce the gun violence across the city.
What patterns have you identified?
Patterns over the past couple of years that there has been an increase with gun violence, but you know there is no one solution to fix that particular issue. One of the things that comes up a lot of times is the fact that there needs to be many aspects from all levels of the bandwidth in order to get it right. Enforcement is one of the elements, but not the only element.
All levels of government, that includes municipal. There are municipal elections happening across the province. In the city of Toronto, we will have 25 councillors now. Does that help your job?
Well, hopefully, if they have the opportunity of making decisions quicker, I think that's one of the main purposes for that reduction, then it will affect not just policing, it'll affect the city overall.
All right, also happening today, Bruce McArthur will be making a court appearance. As a reminder to people across the country, he is charged in the murders of 8 men in Toronto's Church and Wellesley area. Do you have any regrets about how this case was handled leading up to the arrest of Bruce McArthur?
No, I don't have regrets, but I will say that if there's an opportunity for the Toronto Police to explain what they did from early on with Project Houston, right through to Project Prison, which led up to the arrest, and if we talk about facts and not speculation, people will have an understanding of what we did, and I will say that there were some things that we did that I don't think most agencies would have done.
Like what?
I won't get into that because now we're going to be getting into the evidence, but I've had conversations with the lead investigator and some of the team members, and some of the things that they did, to be quite honest, I was very proud of the work that they did do.
One of the results that has come out of this examination of everything in this investigation in particular is this missing persons unit that was put together formally in July, I understand. How will that change how your service deals with these cases going forward?
Well, you know, if you put more resources in and you put more measuring tools into effect, it gives you the opportunity of getting better outcomes. I think that when we have over 4,000 missing people a year, having a harder look at that very aspect of policing, I think will give us an opportunity to have better outcomes at the end of the day.
Why did it take so long?
Why did what take so long?
Why did forming an official unit like this take so long?
Oh, because we're not going to rush. We're going to do it right. It's not based on emotion. It's by looking at the information, the data, making proper analytics, and then formulating what would be necessary in order to help reduce and resolve any of the issues or gaps that were found or identified.
We are just coming off the first weekend that pot has been legal in the country. What are some of the challenges that police are facing? Lots of discussion about how this was, an idea put forward by the feds, but really the frontline work is all being carried, in the policing aspect anyway, at the local level. So what did our first weekend of pot look like in the city of Toronto?
Well, as expected, by and large, most people are law-abiding, and I would say that that rate is even higher in Canada, in the city of Toronto. So there was nothing that was absolutely astronomically alarming by any stretch of the imagination. There was not this massive call for resources as it correlates with the act being enabled. But I will say that one of the key issues right now when it comes to the unlawfulness are the dispensaries. The government enacted the Cannabis Act, which provides more tools to law enforcement now, not from a criminal perspective, but from a provincial offenses. And we're talking about stiff fines of up to $250,000, incarceration if fines aren't paid. And the other thing that I like about it is the fact that landlords don't have the ability of hiding behind the law anymore, because they are equally accountable as well if they're going to provide the facility for people to be involved in criminal activity.
Is your goal to shut down all pot dispensaries right now in the city of Toronto?
Well, we're moving towards it. We've shut down on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've shut down. We'll continue to. We're working with the bylaw officers. It's been a very strong, cohesive relationship with the bylaw officers. They will be given the authorities to do what we do under this Cannabis Act. So what you'll see is a transition where you'll have resources from the city that will continue the work in closing down the dispensaries, because we know that the product is coming from organized crime. It is the black market, and we have to do everything we can to reduce it and eliminate that in the city.
Lots going on a Monday morning. Chief Saunders, we appreciate you coming in this morning to speak with us on Your Morning.
Thank you.